LimeVibe. Komm, let me lime. Komm, let me vibe. LimeVibe. Komm, let me lime. Komm, let me vibe. LimeVibe. Oh, LimeVibe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another Lime Vibe Live podcast, a very special episode of Lime Vibe Live podcast. I'm your host with the most, Yori Araman Kemp, here from Nassau, Bahamas. And we're celebrating my birthday tonight. Kim isn't joining us right now. She's tied up somewhere, but we're celebrating my 44th birthday today. Not today, tomorrow. I'm born on May 13th, Mother's Day back in 1979. So thank you very much for joining us for this Lime Vibe Live podcast. I hope you guys have had a great Friday, a great week, actually. So thank you for coming in. So yeah, I am 44 years old, 44. I don't know if that's a milestone age, but I guess the number 4 is a good number. If you guys buy number, you buy the lotto, go and you play the 44 and you put whatever number you want to put with it. I don't even know how to play numbers, actually. You know, people say, oh, no, you got to buy the 44, you got to put the 7 with it, or you got to put the 3 with it, or whatever it is. But however you guys box your numbers, you play your numbers, then go ahead. By all means, go and do it. Go and play your number. 44, tomorrow, May 13th. That's my birthday. I was born on Mother's Day that year. And I was a special gift to my mother, even though she doesn't pretty much appreciate it. And now that she calls me a rotten scoundrel, and she has all of her issues with me, but that's okay. I'm still alive. I'm still here. But otherwise than that, you know, I had a great day today. You know, I finished up all of my tasks today. And so we're heading into my birthday in a great mood, man, in a very happy and a very reflective mood, because not only am I going to celebrate it with some friends tomorrow, I'm also going to be celebrating it in the peace and comfort of my own mindset, my own mind frame. I'm still happy. I'm still healthy. I'm feeling good. I'm going to celebrate like a regular. I'm going to start my day on a Saturday like how I normally do. Get up, you know, go to get some exercise in. Then I'll chill out and then wait to see my friends later on that evening. So that's going to be my day tomorrow. And normally I don't celebrate my birthdays. Normally I don't have cake. I don't do any kind of special kind of fancy stuff like how all these other people do. But tomorrow I'm going to celebrate in grand style with my friends tomorrow. See, I normally don't do it, but I think because COVID-19 really impacted all of us, and you begin to appreciate people a bit more as things go on. So I'm going to appreciate my friends a bit more. I promise after COVID-19, I'm going to appreciate my friends and family a bit more. And I have been engaging with them a lot more, say during COVID-19 and after COVID-19. And so that's what I'm going to do. Otherwise than that, that's my day tomorrow. So tonight I'm just here with you guys, just sharing what I've been going through over the past several weeks, months, I would say, and trying to make sure our Lime Vibe is off and running. And we're picking up subscribers still on the Facebook page and the YouTube page. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube page. You can keep up to date with our content, and that'll be great. That helps us out a lot. It helps us to spread the message to all of you where it needs to go, because we believe in the Caribbean. We believe in spreading the message in the Caribbean. We believe in making sure that people know that we have a voice down here. And so with that, we hope that you could like and subscribe to our pages, our YouTube page and our Facebook page, and keep us up to date. Otherwise than that, you know, the hot topic today is the Title 42. The Biden administration ended the Title 42 last night. Those of you who don't know what Title 42 is, it was a Trump era policy that blocked the borders from allowing immigrants from getting into the U.S. border from the southern border. And so it was a measure put in place to help to protect people from the spread of the COVID-19. And of course, it turned into a immigration battle, and that caused immigration agents, U.S. immigration agents, to really take a real hard stance against immigrants trying to enter into the United States from the U.S. southern border. And so it turned into a racial tone. You know, it took on racial tones as well. But it came to an end last night. And as it came to an end last night at 12 o'clock, people have been flooding to the border at least days before. From the reports I've seen, there's at least about 10,000 people shacked up at the border, the U.S. southern border in Mexico, in California and Texas, trying to get into the United States because the Title 42 policy is now over. And so they have a lot of immigrants from Central America, from Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, not so much Costa Rica, but El Salvador, Guatemala, I would say Panama as well. And with that, you have some Haitians as well in that mix, trying to get over to the United States from that southern border. And people have forgotten People have forgotten that there are some Haitian migrants that made their way to Central and South America and have now been snaking their way up to the border, now waiting to get into the United States. And these are the Haitians that left Haiti during that massive earthquake back in 2010. So yeah, they've been making their way up to the U.S. southern border, and that's been an issue. And we have some patriots down there, some Haitian patriots, I should say, down there in the U.S. southern border, Texas now. Shad Seas. We're going to speak to him on Sunday as well. We're going to talk about Title 42 and the Haitian migration from Haiti via Central America up to the United States. And we're going to talk to him about that on Sunday, hopefully. So that episode is going to be out on Sunday, God willing. He's a pastor down there. He's a Haitian pastor down there in Houston. And he's been helping a lot of the Haitian migrants who have been caught in this immigration standoff, with the U.S. immigration officers and all the other immigrants that are down there in the South. And just recently, he has been dealing with a lot of a greater influx of Haitians now coming to his church in Houston, looking for relief, looking for sanctuary. And so, he's going to have a lot to talk about, So we're going to talk to Pastor Shadrach Seos. He's a Haitian pastor down there in Houston. And we're going to talk to him on Sunday. So, yeah, that's how it's going to go. So, yeah, Title 42 is in. So that means all of these immigrants now, they're at the U.S. southern border. They're looking to get into a freer world, into a better country. And can you blame them really? Because the United States has it all. And why wouldn't anyone want to get in the United States, I think Americans should be flattered to be honest with you. They should be flattered that people are trying their hardest to get into their country. Because really it is the land of milk and honey. And it's not as if they don't have the space to absorb these migrants, because the United States was built on migrants. Going back to the Italians, even before the Italians, even back to the Mayflower, they were immigrants. They took over the country, and now they have the country. And so the United States has been built on the backs of immigrants. Not just slaves, but immigrants, people who came and wanted a better life. There's a land of the free and a home of the brave. And so first of all, getting inside of U.S. policy, but in U.S. politics, I think that, they should have a very warm view towards immigrants. Now, I know a lot of Americans are going to hate me for saying that, and especially coming from a foreigner and outsider, right? But at the end of it all of you are immigrants in the United States, or descendants of immigrants. And so, your vice president, Kamala Harris, your vice president is descended from an immigrant, both immigrants. Her parents, her mother and her father. Her father's Jamaican and her mother's Indian. They both came to the United States, looking for a better life, or families came to the United States looking for a better life. And so you spawned her, you bred her, and she's doing a wonderful job as a vice president, the first female vice president of the United States, I should say. And we are proud of her. And so you wouldn't want that to be missed out at the border, but you didn't let in the future president of the United States at the border. America doesn't want to live by that. And so with Title 42 coming to an end, yes, they're piling up the border. Yes. And yes, the United States has a problem with controlling, but I believe the U.S. policy should change now and should be more, I would say, accommodating, where they could shepherd these people a bit better rather than putting them in these holding cells. Because what I've seen in 2019 and 20, where they had the Haitians rounded up and they were running on horseback. Oh, that was so cruel and so brutal, man. That the optics of that was absolutely barbaric. I think that we should really, really consider how we handle people moving forward, especially immigrants trying to get into the United States, because the optics was these white, burly, immigration officers in the United States, these border protection officers in the United States on horseback, rounding up small Haitian migrants on horseback and whips. You don't want that, man. That was a terrible optic. And of course, the media didn't miss that at all. And they shouldn't miss it, because it was a really poignant, picture, or pictures, I should say. They were really, really striking. It shows you how far the United States has not come with regard to race relations and with regard to how they treat people. I guess emotions were running high at the border, and I guess the border agents were tired. And I guess the U.S. Border Protection Agency was tired altogether. And so they wanted to do something to stem the tide of illegal immigrants. But I think that was the wrong way to go about doing it. We need some humanity down there at the border, man. Some humanity. And with that, I think that they could have a better, more smoother policy, a transition policy to get people into the United States a bit better. That's just my take on it. Otherwise than that, Title 42 has come to an end. And right now we have the Association of Caribbean States. They're having a meeting in Guatemala right now. Most likely that conversation is going to come up there with regard to immigrants leaving those countries in Guatemala and the Central Americans, El Salvador and Honduras, and leaving those countries. That should be on the discussion on the table for discussion, but we'll see what they do about it, because I don't think there's nothing much they can do about it until they actually build up their economies and build up these countries. And that's really where the problem is. The problem is building up these Central American and Caribbean countries where the immigration isn't so strong coming from these countries. And that's really what we have to talk about. And then the United States really has to play a part with building up these economies. They used to play a part during the Cold War, but then all of a sudden they just dropped them. After the Cold War came to an end, they dropped these countries. And it's not as if immigration wasn't always strong. Immigration was always strong, but it's gotten stronger now since the mid-90s when these economies started to collapse. And of course, you have to blame these countries as well, too. They have a penchant now for voting for or voting in, the most dastardly scoundrels that they can't get rid of. That turn despotic as the time goes on. But then again, you have the United States playing a hand in that as well. The United States has a hand in selecting most of these despots, turning a blind eye to these despots. But that was back during the Cold War, though. There hasn't been a need now to install leadership inside Central America and Caribbean the way it was back in, I would say, the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. There isn't a need to do that right now. And so, you have these people vote for these people themselves. We vote for our own poison now. We have freedom now, and they're not as overbearing. The United States isn't as overbearing as they was back in the 70s and 80s. We're voting for our own leaders now, so we're doing it to ourselves. So let's just take that into consideration. Let's put that on the table. Otherwise than that, like I said, the Caribbean leaders are down there in Guatemala. There's a host of issues they should be talking about. Climate change should be on the agenda as well. Immigration should be on the agenda. And I should say crime and punishment as well, And we talk about crime in the Caribbean. I don't think we realize how our Central American brothers are really dealing with crime. Just about several months ago, or 3 months ago, I should say, El Salvador, it opened up the biggest prison in Central America, but they had all the MS-13 gang members lined off like they were on slave ships, man. They had them in their small little boxer shorts and bareback. They were running them up like animals, man. They're trying to clean up the streets in Central America by dealing with this MS-13 gang. And I wish them all the best, because as soon as they lock up 5,000, another 10,000 are made. It's probably gone too far now, where it's now almost like a brotherhood and a real community now of gang members who they just really can't get rid of. And of course, they're going to infiltrate, and that's what the United States is really afraid of. They're not afraid of really poor immigrants who want to make a life. They're afraid of the criminal element getting into the United States, and they should be afraid. That's why the United States policy at the border should be more screening and a better way where they could shepherd these people through the United States in a more healthy and humane way. And that's how it should be. People deserve a chance for a better life. And the United States preaches this, they preach that, this is a land of the free and the home of the brave, and this is a place for people to come and liberate themselves. So show and prove, show that you are the country that you say you are. That this is the government of the world. Now, this is the progressive country in the world. And I think they can do that, I have faith in the Americans. I have faith in them. So let's hope that, and back to the meeting. I keep straying away and I keep jumping from one point to the next, but they're all interconnected. I hope you see that. They're all interconnected. Building up the economies in Central America and in the Caribbean will help to work with, stemming the flow of immigration into the United States, as well as dealing with crime in some of these Central American countries could help to stabilize some of these economies in some of these countries. And, and combating the rise of MS-13 and these other drug cartels as well. And that's what Americans are really afraid of. And so they're all interconnected. So hopefully our Caribbean leaders are down in Guatemala, talking about these issues. And these are on the front burner for what they come back and they deal with the United States when they have their discussion with the United States. But in saying that, though, we need more investment in the region. We can't go on without saying that even enough. We need more investment in the region. Like I said, the United States dropped us like a bad habit. after the Berlin Wall came down, after communism action absolutely failed, which really is a failed policy, you know. I don't even know why anyone would want to even bring back communism or socialism to any great extent, because it's been a failed idea. It's a failed idea. Even Putin said that. Putin was probably not probably he was a second democratically elected leader of the Russian Federation after Boris Yeltsin. And he said to his council of ministers several years back, obviously communism has been a failed policy. Why would anybody want to revisit that? And he was a KGB member. Vladimir Putin was. Yes, he was. And he lived under the Iron Curtain. He lived under communism. So he understands, he sees it full well. And so he knows it's a failed system. And he's not living by communism by any stretch of the imagination. He's a capitalist. And I don't blame him, you know. And so why would anybody still hold on to this idea? It's beyond me. They have to be retarded, man. You have to be retarded. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. You have to be out of your mind. You know, if you think that socialism works, it's a failure. And so in saying that, though, we need more investment, more private investment, more foreign direct investment. We need people to come back to these countries, these islands, and these Central American states. We need investment in a major way. And we need people who need jobs, and we need people to actually get back and get involved. We need a vibrant economy now, so these guys don't turn to MS-13 gangs and these drug cartels. You know, we need to actually get them engaged in some investments and doing things like a podcast like this. Yeah, doing some other stuff, man. Some more training and some more investment. That's what it needs. And these things are easier said than done. I know that, right? But they need to be done. And we have very intelligent people running around in this part of the world, the Western Hemisphere, from the United States to Canada to Brazil to the Bahamas. You have very intelligent people running around this country, running around this Western Hemisphere. And so we could put our collective minds together and get something cooking for the rest of us and make a good go at it. So I believe in a better future for everybody here. And hopefully that's what they're talking about at the ACS meeting in Guatemala. You know, a better future, more investment, stemming the flow of guns and crime from these Central American countries and stemming the flow of immigration, you know, and using these Central American countries and Mexico as a gateway to the United States to offload some of these criminal elements into the United States. That's what they should be talking about. But let's hope that, you know, cooler heads prevail. Not cooler heads, but let's hope that sensible heads are at the table. And I have no doubt that there are sensible heads at the table and they're discussing this issue in totality in a wholesome manner. But other than that, that's been, you know, my day. I've been consumed with these two issues. I've been following up on what's been going on. Oh, yeah, another issue that's his life. If you haven't read the Caribbean Magazine Plus today, we issue every Tuesday and every Friday. There was the Euro climate launch for the Caribbean in Barbados 2 days ago, where the European Union now is investing more in, there's coming on right now. So people have been investing in, you know, the European now is pledging more investments, I should say, for the Caribbean. Hey, Kim, how are you? You're not ready yet? Okay. Well, the European Union is pledging more investment for climate change for the Caribbean. And the Euro Climate Fund is going around the world, but they just hit the Caribbean 2 days ago. And so they launched in Barbados. And they had Dr. Armstrong Alexis, the Deputy Secretary General of this CARICOM. He helped open it up with the ambassador from the European Union to Barbados. And so they opened it up 2 days ago. And I wish them all the best for that, because we need all the help with climate change we can get. You know, I spoke to a top scientist last week, and he said that he doesn't really believe in the hocus pocus with climate change. And I'll tell you exactly what he told me. He told me that, and he's a weather scientist, by the way. He said that he's a very top senior level weather scientist. He said that the world goes through these changes every so often, every a few hundred years or so. And so the thing that human beings are contributing to climate change to the great extent that they're trying to build this up is absolutely false. You know, the world goes through these climate changes every so often, periodically, every 100 so years or so. And so for us now to change the way we live, to think that, you know, we could just stop using fossil fuels and we can stop using things like what? Like fossil fuels, like oils and stuff, so we can have a cleaner world, is just a foolhardy way of thinking, because you're just not going to stop short the economy and just put a jerking halt to it. And I think that we're just going to stop using, gasoline, and that's going to stop, climate from changing. That's not the case. And he said it's turned into now a political war. It's a political issue now, where you have one side for clean energy, one side for fossil fuels, and which side is going to win the economic battle. But I have to say, man, solar energy does have its merits. It's cheaper, I should say, on the consumer, but it's a lot more expensive on the investor. So Kim, are you with us now?
Hey, good night, Yuri. How are you?
Thank you for joining me for my birthday celebration, man.
Yes, we have
Not
to.
much of a celebration, but
I had plans to actually come and playing some music for you and stuff, and I had an accident this morning, so I needed to get fixed up. I needed to get therapy for my back. I injured my back this morning.
Oh, okay.
I needed to get. I was lucky enough that I had someone on hand to tend to me, and well, my hair. They had to see what my neck all the way, so it's greasy and oily. So hence, I have my hat on.
Oh, okay. Oh, what is that? That's a head wrap or what?
It's a turban.
Turban. Okay. You wear them often?
Yeah, I've always worn them. I like wearing turbans. I usually tie scarves on my hair. I think I have plenty of pictures with my turbans on, especially during the pandemic, because you're trying to protect your hair and stuff like that.
Okay. Now, speaking of playing the birthday song, I'm gonna play my favorite birthday song now. 1 second, Kim, while I remember, because I should have played my birthday song at the beginning. So I would. Can you? All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Who did I eat up all the food and drink down all the rum? Sweet drink and scrape dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blow your candle, you done look on all your gifts. We done sing a happy birthday and you done make a birthday wish. While my mind asking a question, Lord, I wonder who it will be. You give your first piece of birthday cake too. Oh Lord, my God, I pray that it's me. Oh, they done eat all the food and they done drink on the rum. Speak, drink and scream, me dance all night long to the sounds of the ancient man. Now you done blow your candle, you done look on all your gifts. We done sing a happy birthday and you done make your birthday.
Okay, that's enough of that. Happy birthday to me. That's my favorite song, my favorite birthday song. I want them to sing it when I go for dinner tomorrow. I want them to sing that for me. I want them to play in the back. I'm gonna say that's my request. Play the Ancient Man birthday song. And they better find it too. They better find it.
So what we usually play, obviously, we play the Stevie Wonder here. We don't have it. I don't think we have any Caribbean ones. And then there's the Indian version. I can always play that for you, but I don't think you want to hear that.
Oh, why not, man? I love birthday songs. What's the name of birthday songs?
Let me see if I can find it. Because it's usually shared here. It's a popular one, So let me look if I can find it.
I love birthday songs, man. Even Stevie Wonder's birthday song, "Happy Birthday to You." But I have a partiality for my Caribbean Bahamian brother, Ancient Man. That's my favorite song.
You know chutney music? You ever heard about it?
Yeah, I know about chutney music.
This is Ravi B's version. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear computer audio from me. Let me see.
Let me give you capacity to share the screen.
Let me see if you can get the audio.
I can hear you.
Happy birthday to you.
Let me get the Indian.
Happy birthday.
I can hear you.
It's your birthday, so let me party. Let's gather to cut the cake. Just to your life, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to you. Another great year for you. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, I play it all the time too. Turn it out.
Yeah, so that's a great version of it, you know. That's Rowdy singing Happy Birthday. That's quite popular at parties here in Trinidad.
Oh, I
You
love
might
it. I love it.
Guyana and Suriname, where the Indian population is quite plentiful.
Yeah,
The
I love it.
original version for the older folks like my parents and my grandparents,
Mm.
we actually play the Bollywood version, the Indian film star version. They actually have the original. That's what they're accustomed to.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's, and then there's the whole MLK song from Stevie Wonder we like to play as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's a worldwide popular song, man.
That is, yeah. So
Do
when
you
it
like Salman Khan?
Salman Khan, in the early days, he used to make some really good movies. Not so much anymore. Right now, they're pairing him too much with the young girls. He hasn't gotten married yet. Shah
Oh.
Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan, they're the kings of Bollywood. You would always see me posting about a guy called Ranveer Singh. He
Yeah.
is my generation's version of Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan. He can act some superhero roles. He can be a lover. He will make you cry. He will woo you. Once you have the capacity of being like that, I think you're the all-round actor that we want to see.
Okay, okay.
He can make us laugh. He can make us cry. He can act as a warrior and a battle hero. So
Yeah, Bollywood has come a long way, hasn't it? Right?
it's one of the longest movie making industries. It's been around so long, and what is interesting about them, and I always say this, it's a dual industry. And so when you make movies, they're still a movie making industry that pairs the music industry with them. So you've got film and you've got music, and the music still goes on par with the movies. And based on its success, you always have the music to fall back on. So people always go for the songs. You always hear the songs. We have so many Indian radio stations here in Trinidad. You're bound to hear something. And
I like the choreography, man, because it all seems to be geared around choreography. Everyone's dancing the same rhythm and the same beat, the same time. Is that Indian culture? Like, I mean, of course it's Indian culture, right? But is that really accepted? That's really what we do.
When it comes to celebrations, yes, like Diwali, we have performances. If you come, even during the regional Karakam symposium, that we had a few weeks ago, they had Indian performances, Indian dancing performing at the opening ceremony.
Oh wow! Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this year, I think an Oscar win went to the movie RRR and The Elephant Whisperer, and that was for the song that was sung.
The Elephant Whisperer?
Yeah, that's two Indian movies that won, you know. So they got Indian movies that won. There was a Natu Natu song that was quite popular. It was all on all our radio waves. It was popular around the world. It went viral. So they won this year as one of Oscars 2023 Indian movies win.
Okay.
It won under Best Original Song.
Okay.
So that was really good. I think it's the first time. I know we had Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah,
but
that's the biggest one, right?
By I think a British filmmaker.
Oh, that wasn't wholly and solely Indian.
I think this one was totally Telugu. It's from it was the Telugu language that was featured in the movie. They won, you know, for Best Original Song. Elephant Whisperers won under Best Documentary Short Film.
The Elephant Whisperer. That sounds cool. The Elephant Whisperer. Yeah. Where did I hear that? Where did I hear that term from? The Whisperer.
We always know the Horse Whisperer.
Yeah, the dog whisperer, the horse whisperer, right? And the dog whisperer. Right. Okay. I know I heard that term before. And then Caesar Milan is a dog whisperer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Does he still come on National Geographic?
I think I've seen him on Animal Planet.
Animal Planet, yeah. Okay.
Still has a show there.
I haven't seen his show in a while. Like he was popular for like about a year or so, and all of a sudden he just died out, like how all the other fads die out, right?
If you're a person that follows animal content, I think you'll definitely see him. So
Mm,
I know he's quite. I see him actually featured on NBC sometimes on Saturday mornings.
okay. Okay, cool.
Or Planet as well.
Okay, okay. So you actually covered the Euroclimber story for the Caribbean Magazine Plus. So tell me what happened at that Euroclimber launch.
So that was what? That was a launch in Barbados at
Operated-
it was the Walkers is it Warners or Walkers Reserve?
The Walters Reserve.
Yeah. And that was really interesting as to see how they took the entire quarry. They featured it, they held it there.
Mm,
So it was held there. It was once one of Barbados' oldest quarry,
mhm.
sand quarry. It was used for it's material used, but it was actually one of the largest quarries in the entire Caribbean region.
Wow.
And they took that. It's about 273 acres of land.
How
They rehabilitated it, and they did something called permaculture, where they brought in these plants and they started making it into a forest.
Mhm.
And they started planting a tree for every Barbadian. That's over 283,000 trees.
That's nice.
And the guy that does it, they featured him. He's from Kenya. He actually has a permaculture within Trinidad, a permaculture farm here in Trinidad, rehabilitated land as well. And what it signified with Euroclimber was their work with the climate and rehabilitating the islands and working towards, sustainable climate goals with food production. And the reserve that they worked on is part of that. It's creating self-sustainability with the food. Because if you looked at the feature, they spoke about all the crops, the bananas, the fruits and everything. So that's helping Barbados with their economy as well.
Yeah, so Mia Motley isn't just talking that talk, she's walking that walk. Everyone else is talking climate change, what they're doing for climate change. She's actually putting some action into it, right?
Yes, but the Euroclimber, it's the first time that it's how long they've been around. They've been around for over 10 years.
Mhm.
And they're now launching the Caribbean leg of that program.
Mhm.
It's going to benefit all the Caribbean islands. Obviously, it's the EU trying to ensure that, hey, they're giving back to the region.
Yes. That's good.
And, I know that they spoke about a lot of success stories in Latin America, what they did in Brazil, Nicaragua, and Peru, and all Chile, and all the countries.
Of course they'll say that.
It was interesting to know what they're doing. So yeah, this whole climate change talk has been, at the forefront after the pandemic.
Mm.
It's real. It's something that's really affecting us here in the islands.
Mm.
We welcome the help.
Yeah, we do, of course. Absolutely.
The St. Lucian minister that was present, he spoke that, we have to be more accountable when we get these monies and what we're doing. And he spoke
Absolutely, I agree.
Transparency. Because most of the times we get the funding, but what do we have to say for getting that money?
Yeah.
It's not loans. It's given to us in the form of grants, right? And it's also partnerships with the private sector. So as to how it is used and put to use, it is left to be seen. And the accountability, when they set up these centers here in the Caribbean, each island has their own centers, they have to be accountable. I'm not sure what's up, but I know when it comes to like IDB loans and stuff like that, used in all sorts of different ways.
They waste that.
The grant thing. And I remember the IDB giving a loan to help with the flooding in our capital city in Port of Spain. And they did projects and it was working. And we did not have flooding in Port of Spain for a long time, but it was discontinued when governments changed. And then you question, so what happened to the funding? What you all did with that? That was a big loan you all took from the IDB.
Yeah.
It was redirected elsewhere and we don't know what happened.
Yeah. That's what happens with these IDB grant money and these IDB funds, man. it ends up being wasted and put away most of the time, right? Because the Ministry of Finance they redirect the money. Now the IDB has gotten a lot better over the last, I would say, 10 years or so now, where they have now mandates where you have to spend the money here and you have to actually show and prove something before they actually trigger the money to you. So they don't give money willy-nilly, because back in the day when governments got loans from the IDB, they would just give them the money right out front. And there wouldn't be any kind of checks and balances, no kind of stage payments. They would just give us, so you want $10 million here, $10 million. Wow, do what you want to do with it. No specialists on the ground, no anything. And this is for you to do. And that was foolhardy. Because as we were seeing, a lot of the governments were just wasting the money, just throwing it up in the air and wouldn't do anything with it. Because you come to the IDB for help. You come to the IDB for specialist help along with the money. So why would you give me the money? Say, for example, I am a terrible, house cleaner. I come to my neighbor and say, hey, neighbor, I need you to help me to clean my house. So why would you give me $100 to go and clean my own house when I come to you for help to clean my house? That makes no sense. So the IDB made the change and they said, hey, we're going to send you specialists and we're going to make sure we monitor these projects a lot better. And before we give you money, we're going to give you the down payment, or we're going to give you the starting point. And then after you've completed certain steps and you checked off certain checklists, then we're going to give you more money. So that's been working a bit better for the IDB. So yeah, the money has been wasted, but it's getting a lot better though, Kim.
It's getting better. That's good. That's hopeful, because a lot of money is right now being spent with our water sewerage authority, and they're looking to
Awesome.
Wassa.
Oh,
Yes.
Wassa's the whipping boy in Trinidad, man.
Right. No, but I mean, for quite some time we never really had water problems, and suddenly we're having water problems. Why is that? And they're looking to do away a lot of things. And, they're looking to do away with a lot of the treatment plants and the separate the separate plants that they have, and they're looking to kind of streamline one single thing into a grid, kind of decrease the grid so that when you have flooding, it's not affected by the turbidity and debris and things like that coming down into the dams. That collects the water, and the water treatment plant has to shut down in order to clear the high turbidity, and it affects areas that are often affected by floods, and they need that water for cleaning their surroundings post floods.
Okay. But Wassa's been going through a lot of scandals though themselves, right, as of late.
Yes, they have. It's been awful. They've been threatening privatization. Got quite a hefty staffing. It's to wait and see what's going on. They've been threatening to do that. I'm not sure how much, because it's going to affect them probably in elections if they were to do that.
Yeah. Rallying them aren't going to do that, right?
No, but I mean, it's to shape up or ship out. So what you need to do something.
I know, right?
Have problems with TN Tech long ago. TN Tech saw some revolutionary. That's our electricity company.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, we were doing well when it comes to our power supply. We had a reliable power supply. The rates were pretty okay. When it came to customer service, it was fairly decent. But in recent years, it has gone down in the sense that people are going through. You're having a lot of dips in service, and I attribute that to the whole natural gas situation. Even the managers have spoken to that at times. Natural gas supply is one issue, and then it's about time they kind of upgrade their infrastructure. So they've been doing that at the same time. What's happening? We're getting some high voltage, and it's damaging a lot of people's plants. Just 2 days ago, I had a situation where my television cut off. I wanted to know what was going on. I didn't touch the remote, nothing. When I checked that strip that you've got to protect the surcharge protection strip,
surge protector.
Surge protector. It went totally red.
Yeah.
So that's saved my television.
Wow. So yeah, power surge.
Yeah, it was really high. All the buttons were red.
Hmm.
And then I heard the click like
Mm.
about 5 minutes after, a few minutes after, and then it came back green and the television came back on.
Okay. That's good you were there though, because if it had surged, you probably would have caught a fire, you know.
I don't know. And yeah, so things like that.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
We have to be careful. A lot of people have been complaining about that. We've had the RIC, the Regulated Industries Company Corporation. So they've been having consultations on raising tech rates. A lot of people have been against it, obviously, especially during, post-pandemic where inflation is really high. It's
Hmm.
going to increase people's electricity bill by at least $200. That's
Wow.
not good.
What?
Yeah. $200 at least.
Jesus, they went up on our electricity rates here in the Bahamas as well. I mean, but they bungled it though. When I say they bungled it, the previous administration they had a fuel purchase agreement, fuel hedging agreement actually, to buy fuel at a cheaper rate for
Right.
about 10 years. And the new government, the Brave Davis administration, they canceled the agreement. From what I understand, from what my sources have told me, is that the new sheriffs in town, they thought they could do it better, they could get a better deal and all this kind of stuff. So they wanted to cancel that. And so they wanted to do away with all the former administration's initiatives to say they could do it better. And
Yeah.
so what they ended up doing, they lost the fuel hedging agreement, and that was really helping BPL, Bahamas Power and Light, because it was getting fuel at a cheaper rate, and they could use that money to do some other stuff and some other upgrades to Bahamas Power and Light. So now they canceled the fuel hedge, and they had to go up on fuel rates, and fuel rates are going to go up. Electricity rates, sorry, are going to go up over the next 2 years until 2024, December. And it's going to go up every quarter by 10% until 2024, December 2024. And so we're already feeling it in our pockets right now. Our electricity rates are very high right now. And so I would shudder to think what's going to happen in 2024. When they go up to by another about 30-40%, 10% before the end of the summer, and then another 10% by December again. And so they're just going to keep on going up and going up because they missed the fuel hedge. And the fuel hedge is actually helping BPL to save money so they could do some other stuff. And so, I can't understand the bravado of some of these cowboys, man. And this is what pisses me off with them sometimes, Kim. And you get this bravado, this false bravado. Like, if something was working, why would you want to molest it? You already won the government. Take the best parts and then go. Why do you have to show off? Take the best parts and do your best with it, man.
Oh, they want to they do it in that sense, right? But what they're really about is trying to benefit themselves and go under the table to see, okay,
Yes.
we got a new deal, but we're going to get something out of it. And that's what makes our Caribbean nations so corrupt.
Exactly.
It really happens.
Mm.
And they're not going to say it. They would bad talk the other administration and say, oh, that was not working. That was not good. And they will come up with all the technical reasons why it's not working. This is why we had to scrap it. Essentially, if you're being honest, you would say, okay, we can work on it. We would actually make it better.
Mhm.
But they're not doing that. They want to benefit and see how much they can cut the deals to suit.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Kim, because I didn't really think that's thought them being as idiots. But yeah, it could be just plain old corruption. Plain old cutting deals. Yeah. I could believe that.
I mean, I've seen it happen so many times here in Trinidad, so we understand what it's. That line minister driving a big fancy vehicle, and his son and children driving all these vehicles, and they built this really nice large mansion. They're living large. They're set for life.
Yeah, large and in charge. Not like Andrew Fahey though, or Fahy. Fahey or Fahy?
It's Fahey, right? Because it's
Fahey.
double E, right?
Yeah, Fahey. Yeah, it'd be like Fahey. Fahey was flipping birds, Kim. He was flipping birds. He was getting his weight up.
Lord.
What a fall from grace. We have to do a follow-up story on him, man. We got to talk, because apparently his daughter wanted to come back to the British Virgin Islands for the elections, but they were barring her from coming back because she had to watch her father while they were in the United States.
Right.
So yeah. What a tragic fall from grace. This is worse than Michael Missick and the Turks and Caicos, man. Yeah, it is, man, because drug dealing is a real serious charge, Kim.
It is. I was looking at okay, why they don't really have much industry to benefit from. So hey,
Yeah,
why not go the black market way?
yeah, go to black market drug, right? I know, right? But drug dealing, that's a serious charge, man. To be called labeled a drug dealer. You know?
Yeah, that's not right. But I mean, we have similar accusations here in Trinidad.
Mm.
And then there's this whole thing happening with Brand Thomas that, our prime
Yeah.
minister from Barbados, and he held a press conference. He said he did not go to meet Mia Motley, but they did meet to get the story straight. And here in Trinidad, it's looking at, okay, Mia has lost some stripes among the political analysts and those that are vocals. Like,
Really?
you've dirtied yourself, So the saying is that if you hang out with the dogs, you would catch the fleas.
So people are turning against me, Motley in Barbados. I find it hard to believe, Kim.
That because
Okay.
because of what is your police and this guy.
Mm.
So they're trying their best to cover their tracks, but I'm not sure what's going to happen,
I see Kamala poked her head out, right? And she said now Mia Motley should have a full investigation into the Brent Thomas affair. Kamala saying that, right? Of course she would say that, right?
She would say that because I believe he was at one point a UNC member
Okay.
running for elections at local government level. So I believe that is why.
Okay.
And I believe he's also associated with Gary Griffiths, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
So because he would have probably acquired the artillery and whatever, because remember, he supplies this kind of weapons for regiment services.
Mm.
And saying
Why do you think he has a contract?
well, that's the one that we're aware of. I'm not
Okay.
sure for the rest of them.
Mm.
I guess when they do have a joint select committee meeting, we will hear what's happening. A National Security Joint Select Committee meeting would have happened recently, but nothing of that sort would have come up. They were more concerned about the rising crime level and how home invasions have been taken place a lot more, and the rise in murders. Are you there?
I'm right here. Yeah, I hope they get this Brent Thomas situation because it's bubbling over and Raleigh can't escape it, How
No.
can you kidnap a man from Trinidad and take him to Barbados?
Exactly. How can you do that? And I don't know if they were trying to find, that arrest warrant through the CARICOM, treaty.
Mhm.
With that, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But it goes to the courts, and we'll see.
Yeah. That reminds me when they said they kidnapped Samuel 90 Knowles in the Bahamas and took him to the United States, which wasn't true. He had an extradition order signed by the Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Attorney General. So,
Nothing like that was said here. And
okay.
the matter went to the High Court here in Trinidad.
Okay.
So it was fully aired out at the High Court because, for the justice to have said certain things, certain comments, it means that there's evidence based, there's some level of evidence to support the case, right? So it would have been aired out and thoroughly ventilated at least before the High Court here in Trinidad.
Okay.
So,
have you heard about this Mehul Choksi guy from Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda?
no.
He was kidnapped recently. The Indian billionaire that was involved in embezzling from an Indian bank, Mehul Choksi.
No.
Oh yeah, he was in a call what they call a honey trap. So he was entrapped. From what the story goes, he was entrapped by a voluptuous woman in Dominica. He got on a boat and he ended up in Antigua and Barbuda. And because the Indian authorities wanted him, so people were saying that the Indian authorities cooked up this elaborate scheme with Prime Minister Roosevelt scared, and the Antiguan government to actually kidnap Mehul Choksi from Dominica, take him to Antigua and Barbuda. This has been over the last 2 years, Kim. I'm surprised you didn't see it. You didn't have it.
2 years ago, yes, I remember this.
Yeah. It's a wild story. He's been set free.
Right.
And they're saying that this from the latest on him was that this was more than just a honey trap. This was something that's more elaborate than that. And it goes to the fact that how can you just kidnap somebody from a foreign country and take them to another country, man? Same thing with Brent Thomas. I hope this isn't a wave throughout the Caribbean, you know, where you kidnap someone from one island, take them to another island, because I think people are up to the game now that the Caribbean is more than just Jamaica. You know, that they have separate jurisdictions and they all have different functions. So I hope they aren't going to use this. Instead, they're going to use the Caribbean as some kind of, you know, some kind of criminal minefield, you know, some criminal kind of game or a playing field, you know. Because they already, Caribbean countries already now tainted with the citizenship by investment situation. And we haven't spoken about that at all on this podcast. Because I believe there's a lot to be said about that citizenship by investment program. And it's not all of those cracked because they're letting in too much of these scoundrels. And they're letting in too much people who are unsavory. And we don't even know these people. And these citizenship by investment firms, they claim to do the highest quality vetting on these people, but they're not checking. Once they have the money to pay for their passport, they're going to be let in, Kim. Let's tell the truth. They're going to be let in.
Very true. Not
You know,
knowing.
that's how Mehul Choksi got into Dominica. He paid for passport, even though he knowingly embezzled from an Indian bank, and that's what they want him to answer charges for the money he embezzled from an Indian bank. They still gave him a passport. So what kind of vetting are you doing? You know, so that's another issue we got to talk about again too. So, but you know, I guess it is what it is. You know, these little banana republics, no one really takes us into consideration. We don't care.
Banana republics.
Yeah, we only sane voices out here, Kim, and you know that, Kim.
Yeah.
We're the only sane people out here.
They look at us as okay. Well, you could always be bought over. It's easy.
Yeah.
You're not important. You're nothing like you got nothing like the FBI, and you got nothing like the CIA. So
I know, right? I know, right? So
got no touting power when it comes to law and criminal matters when it comes to handling us. You can't touch us, basically.
yeah, essentially that's the case, you know. Essentially that's the case. There's no respect, man, no respect.
I mean, you see how certain things play out in like the Eastern European countries, right? You can't make a mess there. You can't enter their jurisdictions and feel you can get away with doing anything.
Yeah.
And, perhaps, we're not going to ask to make any examples here in the Caribbean, but perhaps, they need to understand you got to respect your island at least. Why sell your island's name in such a way? So perhaps we really need to buck up, pull up our boots when it comes to laws like this. Not allowing you to enter and come in and do as you like. And drag our names through the international media.
They don't care because they believe like we're insignificant, you know.
Yeah.
They can do what they want to us, Kim. And you know that.
Yeah. But it's also Mother's Day weekend this week.
Yeah, that's right. I said it earlier, you know. But I told you I was born on Mother's Day, right? 1979.
Right. Yes. 1979, right.
Yeah, 44 years old, Kim. So I was the greatest Mother's Day gift anyone could ever have.
What a way for your mom to celebrate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She'll never forget me. I'll never forget her, actually. But most likely she'll never forget me.
I had a friend whose birthday was on Mother's Day. She was not a mother, but she was a matriarch in sorts in our community. Passed away some years ago, and this year Mother's Day falls on her birthday. So it used to be her birthday used to be a big celebration, and even more extravagant celebration when it fell on Mother's Day. But this year, while she's not with us anymore, I'm remembering her, and I call her name, I say her name, and I think of her, and I say happy birthday to you. Because she was quite influential in my life as a female mother figure. She taught me how to crochet and knit. When I came for school, we had to learn how to crochet and knit for school.
You crochet?
I did a little bit of it. I did it for school. We needed to do it for school. And when it came to baking, she was always cooking up something really nice in her kitchen. She was my former neighbor. You would be sure to get something, a really nice treat in the evening time. She was always waiting for me when I came home from school to tell me something. I call her name is Stella, but there's an old name that they gave her stemming from her dad. So her name, call her Tanti, is the Indian term for auntie.
Tanti. The word Tanti gives me a weird kind of sexual overtone with it too, you know. I don't know. Yeah, it does. It sounds sexually charged. Tanti.
No, here's the thing, right? They call you that because they see you as old and revered in a sense. Like I am at the age now, some young teenagers will see me and call me Tanty. It's like, what?
They call you Tanti Kim?
Yeah, they call me Tan. Okay, without this hat, you know, and I'm looking the way I usually look. They call me Tan. Like Tans. Like, who you calling Tanty? I'm old enough to be your sister.
First time I heard when they said it was Tanti Kamala. They call it Tanti Kamala.
So her name was Tanti Gang. That was an Indian name that her father gave her. She hated it, but her real name was Stella. Stella means star. And she was this year is her birthday on Mother's Day, so I'm thinking about it. But apart from her, you know, what's your tradition on Mother's Day?
People try to pack up to the most expensive restaurants and take their mothers to buffets and what have you. So that's what they normally do. So
Really?
I guess in places like Atlantis and Bahama and all the other fancy restaurants, you're gonna have a bunch of tables with families gathered together, you know, honoring the matriarch of the family and all the mothers of the family. That's what you're probably going to see on Sunday, along with the run-of-the-mill church service that morning. And they're going to have the church service Sunday morning. Then they're going to have the lunch in the church hall. Then they're going to go out to separate venues, separate restaurants, and celebrate Mother's Day. That's what they normally do. That's a general routine here. And otherwise than that, you know, you're going to have other individuals, you know, celebrating Mother's Day and doing Mother's Day luncheons throughout the week. And so that's really what we do.
What we do here, I mean, obviously we so they usually have like brunches and tea parties for celebrating Mother's Day. But most households, they do like really extravagant Sunday lunches. You know what's a Sunday lunch in the Caribbean? It's that for us here in Trinidad. So yeah, we usually make something really gourmet, something fancy.
They go out your way.
You go all the way out, you know, making sure you've got a really extra special fancy meal compared to what you usually have on a normal Sunday.
Yeah.
And together, we sit together at the table and we have a meal together.
Oh, that's good. That's sweet. That's essentially what we do here too. But you know, people like to go out to the restaurants and then they have the Mother's Day lunches at the church. So yeah, that's essentially it. You know, you treat mothers nice for one day.
It's nice to go out. I mean, I did it once or twice, I think, but I didn't like it. It was too crowded. I wanted to do it one year because usually the cooking to that extent usually falls back on me.
Oh yeah.
So to avoid doing all of that work, I said, okay, we're going out to one of the hotels. We're going out to one of the restaurants at the hotel.
Yeah.
And take care of it there, you know.
Yeah, make it easy on everybody, man. Because you know, mommy normally does the cooking. So why are you going to think I'm going to cook now and do anything sensible, right?
No, well, I mean, I usually do the cooking here. I usually do the cooking at home when I'm there. I usually send food. But when it comes to Mother's Day, you want to cook something different. So every Sunday, you'll usually cook like your normal red beans, rice. You'd cook potato salad, macaroni pie, callaloo.
Yes.
On Sunday for Mother's Day, you want to go out like you want to go gourmet like French. You know, not even Italian, more French or Spanish, you know, and things like that. So that's what we like to do, a different style from your normal Caribbean meals.
Yeah. That makes sense. You know, you guys know how to treat your mothers. You guys know how to treat your mothers, so that's nice. Yeah. So yeah.
Onion, I know sons usually do something different from daughters.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna pretend. I normally would cook for her, but this year I'm going to cook. I may cook Sunday. I'm not sure. I may do something different. I may take her out, but I'll see how I feel when I get up for church that Sunday morning. I'll see how I feel.
Church is usually different, and church is usually long gone. Mother's Day is like your Easter and Christmas service.
Yeah. Oh Lord Jesus.
You have the tokens of appreciation for all the mothers in the congregation.
And don't forget, they have to have the Mother of the Year. They have to have the Mother of the Year, and she has to have a speech, and they have to have a nice, you know, basket of flowers for her.
We don't have Mother of the Year or anything. No, there's no competition. All mothers are treated equally here. They try, you know.
No, we got to pick favorites. We got to make everyone pissed off. We got to show you how. Yeah, that's how you go. We got our favorites.
Mother of the Year.
Yeah, we got to have our favorites, right? And so we got to piss everybody off by selecting somebody especially and making everybody jealous. That's how our culture is, Kim. We piss you off. Do better.
What qualifies the mother of the year?
But God knows. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I wish I knew how to win some of these contests. These what do you call it? These popularity contests in the Bahamas. I would even win them right left and center, but no one seems to know. And you could be trying your ass off. You could be trying your ass off, and then you still be selected by somebody else who has an inside track or whose cousin is on the board or whatever it is. I'm just giving an example, right? I'm not sure what their selection criteria is, but we like to piss people off by making exceptions and secluding everybody and making everybody jealous of the person like Joseph in the coat. Joseph in the coat of many colors. Yeah, you got your coat, but deal with this. That's how we go. That's our culture.
Alrighty.
But Kim, that's us for the night. So how you feel, man?
I want to wish you a very special happy birthday, Mr. Yori Kemp.
Yes.
From all the way in Trinidad. I hope you celebrate lots. I know you will. And wishing you all the best for this new year. Many more blessings, prosperity, and opening up doors. We pray for all of that. But we bestow all these blessings on you.
Yes.
And we consider you a treasure with the Caribbean, a Caribbean treasure you have become.
Yes, thank you so much, Kim. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for this birthday blessings. I hope you enjoy your weekend as well, Kim. I'll let you know how my birthday dinner goes tomorrow with my friends. So I said earlier before you came out, I want to enjoy, since COVID-19, I want to enjoy more time with my friends and family. And tomorrow is going to be an example of that. So I'm going to tell you how we celebrate tomorrow.
And I want to say a special happy Mother's Day to all women out there. Happy Mother's Day from all the way up to the Bahamas to South America, actually around the world. Our Caribbean diaspora is tuned in all parts of the world. So a special happy Mother's Day to you, and wishing you all the best. And I hope that is a wonderful, pleasant, joyful day full of pleasant surprises, and you're resting.
Kim, that's nice. That's wonderful. I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day, especially my mother, Miss Florence Priscilla Gibson Kemp. I wish you a special happy Mother's Day today for Sunday. And don't worry, Mama, I'll cook on Sunday for you. And special Mother's Day to all the other mothers in my life and around the Caribbean as well. So I wish you all the best. So this is Good Night from Caribbean Magazine, not Caribbean Magazine, plus from LimeVibe. The LimeVibe Live podcast is now done for the night. So I wish you all a very special good night. And don't forget to subscribe and like our page and like our content.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Who didn't eat up all the food, didn't drink down all the rum sweet, we can scrape